top 5 lures for catching huge striped bass in Lake Mojave. Now, whether you're reorganizing your tackle box, you're getting ready to chase some holiday sales, or you're shopping for a fisherman in mind, hey there, pumpkin, this is going to be the right video for you. I've organized these lures from, in my opinion, the most expensive to least versatile to, in my opinion, the best bang for your buck towards the end. So in that case, let's go ahead and jump into the first lure here, which is the comeback shad. Pretty much any soft plastic, hey, stop that. Any soft plastic that is a trout colored lure will work for this particular circumstance. So hopefully that's not creating too much glare there. You can see the green on top, the purple on the bottom. Those are your 2 trigger colors for the fish there. You're looking for that green and that purple. And LA Slider is probably a more well-known name brand for this, but what I found is Bass Pro Shop has some deals on these. They're maybe in the $8 to, I'd say, $12 range. They are good for catching fish. However, the one reason why I'd say they're a little bit less versatile is primarily because that they do not allow you to fish them very quickly in the water column. They only work well at slow speeds. So just keep that in mind, that these fish, these lures really don't work well at high speeds, which make them just a little bit less versatile. But you can troll them, you can also cast them into boils, or you can cast them into unknown structure, which in my opinion is the best use for them. All right, number 4 here is going to be the deep diving crankbait. This is going to be the Rapala deep diver. And the reason why this is number 4 is these lures can fetch a pretty penny. I mean, some of these lures are running maybe $14, $15. Some of them are a little bit closer to the $30 mark. So just understand that this works great under a specific set of circumstances. Let's just say you're fishing a boil, right? You've got striped bass, they're chasing threadfin shad at the surface, and we call it a boil because literally the water is bubbling with fish splashing at the surface. But after you catch a couple of fish, somebody else sees you with their boat and they run over the boil because they're trying to get in on the action too, right? And so what happens is essentially the bait dive down and the fish follow the bait. So what do? You cast out a deep diving crankbait. The crankbait dives down to where those fish are, and the fish are looking for an easy meal at that point. So the deep diver does have its uses, but it's very expensive and it's not super versatile, in my particular opinion. All right. Number 3 on the list has to be the spoon. And the reason is because, yes, in Lake Mojave, spoons are not quite as relevant, in my opinion, as in Lake Mead. In Lake Mead, spoons are an essential lure, but in Lake Mojave, they're not quite as essential. What's great about a spoon, though, is you don't need a heavy rod with a spoon in order to fish it well. And you don't need a heavy rod in order to reel in a really big fish with the spoon. So you don't need a really heavy rod in order to fish a spoon, and you don't need a heavy rod to catch a big fish with the spoon. Now, this is a Spino. I customize it. They run a couple of dollars if you buy them in blanks, and then my wife paints them for me, and then I replace the hook with a J hook. Or you can buy a butterfly jig already pre-set up. They're about the same. So nothing too different there. So you'll be surprised if you watched my previous videos about fishing. You'll know that I love topwater fishing, but topwater fishing in Lake Mojave runs down at number 2, and you can ditch the small kind. Realistically, you only want the larger sizes of topwater or saltwater size topwater. Primary reason is because the fish do hit topwater even in wavy conditions and windy conditions, which is unlike Lake Mead. Typically in Lake Mead, you will not catch a lot of fish on top water in windy or wavy conditions. So just keep that in mind, that those larger lures are going to work well in the waves. I would say anything 4 inches and larger, not much more than 6 or 7 inches. Last but certainly not least, and this is the lure that you saw at the beginning of the video, catch that humongous fish, which was the glide bait. Now, the glide bait, in my opinion, is more expensive than what I personally like spending on a lure. However, there's a couple of different ones here. This is the one that was used to catch those big fish. My wife just got me this one. This is a new one for me, but I plan on trying it out this next year. And I'll give you guys some reviews when I actually catch a fish on that one. For now, we're talking about this trout color here. Trout seem to be the color I like to go with right now. Of course, this is how it seems to go though. I start fishing with a lure that I like, I start catching on it, I start telling other people about it, they start fishing with that color, and then I start catching fish with a different color. It just seems to be how it works. And so, sorry if you buy this lure and then, you know, the color doesn't work. So I buy a couple of different color patterns. That way you're not just using what I recommended, you've got a couple of different options. But what I like about the glide bait is I control it slow. I can finesse work it near the surface of the water in unknown structure. I can rip it real fast. I can let it sink. And this, essentially variety of presentations work well for trolling, casting into boils, retrieving the bait really, really fast, casting long distances. I mean, pretty much anything except for what I use the spoon for, which is dropping straight down to the bottom and reeling it back up. This lure seems to excel in a wide variety of circumstances. So while it's a little bit more expensive, I do like having at least 2 glide baits in my tackle box just to give me the option to use a lure that has been super reliable in helping me catch some really, really sizable fish out of Lake Mojave. So tell me down in the comments below, what are your favorite lures? And keep in mind, we do have some links down there for your convenience, but we understand that people are out there shopping. They're looking for ideas. And so don't think that we're trying to sell you fishing lures. I would only show you a fishing lure that I would recommend. And that's a lure that I've used to catch fish in the past. So I would never recommend a lure on this channel that I would not be 100% confident that it would work for you as well. So appreciate you guys for watching and have a great day.